I understand there's a verdict. You may bring the jury. Madam Forelady, if you'll stand for me. Have you reached a verdict?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it unanimous?
Yes, it is.
Okay, if you'll pass it to the clerk, you'll pass it to me, and you may be seated. Okay, if the defendants will rise, and Madam Clerk, if you will publish the verdicts.
State of South Carolina versus Rita Pangalangan. Indictments number 2019 GS 15-00781, 2022 GS 15-00710, 2022 GS 15-00814. We, the jury, in the above caption, on the charge of murder of Cristina and Pangalangan, find the defendant guilty.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
We, the jury, in the above captioned case, on the charge of great bodily injury of a child, we find the defendant guilty.
Oh my God!
We, the jury, in the above captioned case, on the charge of criminal conspiracy, find the defendant not guilty. And it's signed by the foreperson.
Yes.
Signed by the
No, you don't need to call the name of the foreperson. Signed by the foreperson. Do
Signed
not.
by the foreperson.
Yes.
State of South Carolina versus Larry Eugene King. Indictments 2019 GS 15-00780, 2022 GS 15-00709, and 2022 GS 15-00813. We, the jury, in the above captioned case on the charge of murder of Cristina and Pangalangan, find the defendant guilty. We, the jury, in the above captioned case on the charge of great bodily injury on a child, find the defendant guilty. We, the jury, in the above captioned case on the charge of criminal conspiracy, find the defendant not guilty. This is also signed by the foreperson.
Thank you. Madam Forelady, and members of the jury, if that is your verdict, please let it be known by raising your right hands. All right, thank you. All hands are raised. The verdict appears to be a unanimous verdict. Any individual polling requested?
Not from this section. No, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Madam Clerk, if you will poll the jury as relates to the verdicts involving Ms. Pangalangan. Just juror numbers stand individually and pose the questions to them. Is this your verdict, and it's still your verdict? Numbers, yes.
Madam Foreperson, jury number 3, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Jury number 147, is this your verdict? Is it still your verdict? Jury number 56, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict? Yes. Jury number 5, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Jury number 77, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Jury number 339, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Jury number 58, is this your verdict? Yes. Is it still Jury number 450, is this your verdict? Is it still your verdict? Jury number 32, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Jury number 12, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Jury number 422, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
And jury number 253, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Your Honor, the jury has been polled.
The jury has been polled. It's unanimous verdict of guilt. Any post-trial motions?
Yes, Your Honor. We would renew all prior motions, mistrial motions, every other motion I've made, as well as the verdict on the pre-trial, mistrial, and I'll go specifically through them at the appropriate time. Renew all motions.
Yes,
No
sir.
objection.
All right. Yes, sir.
Plus, I renew all my trial motions as well as post-trial subsequent to state motions. All motions.
All right, thank you. Any response by the state?
No, sir.
All right, the matters were properly submitted to the jury for the jury's consideration. They studied the evidence carefully. The evidence was appropriately placed before them for their consideration. They have reached a verdict that is unanimous, and the court respectfully denies each motion made by each defendant.
And we're required at this time to move for a new trial as well.
Yes, sir. And the court likewise denies a motion for new trial as to each defendant. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all. I know you all didn't know what you had in store coming in here Monday, and you might have come in as spectators and all of a sudden got thrown into the mix and realized that the burden was totally on your shoulders to listen to the evidence and stay focused and go back and deliberate to reach a verdict. Quite obviously, it's a heart-wrenching set of facts and circumstances, extremely terrible, almost unimaginable, but yet these are the facts of life that we have to deal with in today's environment. Some things occur that are so extreme you just wouldn't believe or couldn't hardly believe it to be true, that you've realized through listening to this case that these things happen, and it happened in this case. And I want to thank you for responding to the call of duty and serving as jurors played a very important and critical function. Certainly, if you had to find yourself being involved in a trial one way or the other, you'd love to have 12 jurors who listen, who take the job seriously, who deliberated and render a verdict. And I want to thank each and every one of you. Now, Mr. Engineer, what type of engineer are you? Mechanical. My daughter's a civil, and I presided in Aiken County, where there are a whole lot of engineers, and I usually tell the lawyers don't put any engineers on the jury because they have a hard time. They analyze so much that it's being an engineer. So, but of course, I never tell her that. But that's the way it is, depending on your training and profession and your level of expectation on things, and I appreciate that. And that's what makes for a fair and impartial jury to have people from all walks of life that can come in and deal with things. And our young man, are you the youngest on the jury? I want to thank you for having confidence in yourself that you can be a juror and to do something that you probably didn't think you could do, but you did it. So I want to congratulate you and everyone else on the jury. I know that it wasn't easy for any of you, but that's our system and our system at work. The case was investigated. The case was presented to the grand jury of this county. Then the case was presented to you all, and you all have made a decision. And I support your decision 100%. Now, when you find someone guilty, then it becomes my responsibility to impose a sentence. And are you all, do you need time to prepare for sentencing?
No,
I'm ready, but my client may need a minute to speak with me about.
Pardon?
I'm prepared, but my client may need a minute with me right prior to moving into the sentencing phase.
Okay, very good. And you all, well,
Understood.
I need to stay in the courtroom at this point, but you certainly can confer with you want to transport people now? You banned him from the courtroom earlier. He's ready to. He's come back.
Well, just need to speak with you, Your Honor.
Okay, sure, absolutely. Take your time.
Thanks.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you have no role in sentencing. That's totally the responsibility of the judge. I have found that jurors typically like to see what happens all the way through the end of the case. I'm certainly in no rush to impose a sentence because this is such a tragic situation, and as people appear in court, they're typically, quite often not, they don't appear the same as they appear when they commit the crimes. But you're welcome to stay, and you can just be at ease for a moment while Mr. Phillips confers with his client. And I'll say that once you are off the jury, then you're free to talk about the case with anyone that you might want to talk with about it, but you're not obligated to talk with anyone. And if anyone should annoy, harass, or bother you in any way, let me know, and I'll take care of it. Any interference or threatening or bothering jurors is punishable as a serious crime, and we take those things seriously. I don't anticipate that you have anything to worry about, but we keep the identity of jurors private, except for the forelady. And but you're certainly welcome to talk with anyone that you might want to. And, so we're going to take. Are you ready now?
If Your Honor's not dismissing the jury, I guess we will.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to dismiss them. They're free to go or free to stay.